Hey guys, welcome to another Le Mans Ultimate lap guide. We're doing the shorter layout of Monza this time in GT3, the one without the first chicane. I'm driving the BMW M4 GT3 this time. It seems pretty good around here. Anyway, so you obviously don't worry about the first chicane in this lap, but when it comes to the Curva Grande, I hope I said that right, you're going to have to make sure that your steering inputs are very smooth through this bend to the right, because if you turn a little bit too late and have to turn the steering wheel too much, or turn too early and have to adjust your steering inputs, you could cut off some time and some speed. So try and get that turn in point precise and with smooth steering inputs to get the most speed through there. Now for the first proper braking zone, we're looking for the Avis board above the track, or the 150 board. We're braking directly under the Avis board sign as I've shown on the screen there. And into the chicane, you can actually cut over the sausage curb just a little bit to improve your time. Don't cut too much or you'll invalidate the lap. If you're uncomfortable doing that, just go narrowly around the sausage curb, but keep it as tight as you can. Then after that curb, keep your car more towards the left there to slightly open up your entry line for the exit of the chicane, and then on exit you can use the sausage curb on the right as well. Again, just don't cut it too much because you'll risk invalidating the lap and possibly bouncing the car around too much. So use some of that sausage curb to shorten your line, straighten your line up, and then have a nice straight exit on the very outside of the curb. If you get onto the sand, there's a high chance you'll invalidate the lap, so be very precise through there. It's one of the hardest turns on the course. For the first Lesmo turn, we're looking for that light patch of grass on the outside of the track or the orange mark on the fence on the right, and we're using those as our braking references. And not braking too hard, we're going to carry some speed in, trail braking in a bit, and apexing just before the orange fence on the inside there that we can just see, apexing just before that, and then being patient to get back on throttle, because if we accelerate too early, we're going to go out wide here. You don't want to drop your left side wheels on that flat green bit, because that's where your lap gets invalidated, but use all the green and white part of the curb. That's just fine. For the next turn, we can brake just before we get to that 50 board, and we want to go around this inside curb ideally. That's how you get the most out of this turn. Carry some speed in, use the downforce, bring your right side wheel onto the coloured part of the curb, and try not cut up onto that green bit. You can actually cut over that green bit, but it does unsettle the car and you might lose some exit speed. On exit, similar to before, don't go onto that flat green bit. Keep yourself within that white and green part of the curb, and that's maximising the amount of track that you can use. Down to the Ascari chicane, I might add a few more details in this guide than I did with the full Monza lap guide, so if you're watching this, then you're in luck. But to enter the Ascari chicane, we're braking just at the end of that service road on the right there, keeping all the way to the right side, and as we get to the turn-in point, we're going to peel off the brake pedal and turn in to cut a bit over this inside curb. We can't cut this too much. You have to keep your right side wheels on or within that white line, so don't cut too much or you'll invalidate the lap. And don't carry too much speed in, because you want to bring your car back to the left here just a little bit to open up your entry line for this bend to the right. Now here's what I didn't cover on the full Monza lap guide. Through this bend to the right here, you can actually bring your right side wheels up and over this green part of the curb where the anti-cut strips are, but it might not be so easy in some of the cars. In the BMW, you can really mount this curb here and shorten and straighten your line up to make this turn a bit faster, but you might struggle a bit in maybe something like the McLaren or some of the other cars. So just experiment with that line. If you can take those curbs and go for it, you'll straighten your line a bit. And then on exit here, make sure you keep within the curb. Try not to get all the way out to that flat green bit. Possibly it will invalidate the lap if you go that far out. But yeah, just play around with Ascari a little bit there. If you're struggling to mount and drive over those anti-cut strips on that middle curb, then just keep as tight as you can alongside the curb without getting onto it. Final turn, we're braking a car length or two before that black board on the fence there, and we're carrying some speed in, trailing the brake, and then rotating the car, trying to apex near where that Monza board is, or the Monza sign above the track is. Apexing around there, and then just being patient, coasting a little bit through the turn, waiting for the front of the car to grip up, and then getting back on throttle, rotating out of the turn here, and then bringing the car all the way to the left side of the track. It all depends on the momentum that you've carried out of this turn. And if you got on throttle a little bit late and don't have too much momentum, just stay tight through this turn. Don't bother going all the way to the outside because you're just wasting time. It's all about the momentum that you carry through there, so make the most of it. Try carry as much momentum as you can and use all the track. But that's a lap at Monza short, mostly the same as the full Monza layout. It's just the second chicane that's a bit different, and I've got all my TC, ABS, brake bias settings at the start of the video. I'm going to play through the whole lap without any interruptions, so enjoy that, and I'll come back to the end of the video with a pit guide. It's exactly the same as the full Monza lap guide, so see you at the end of the lap. For the pit entry of Monza, we're taking the final corner like we normally would, then we're coming out wide here and then aiming up straight with the pit lane, and then as we cut over this dotted line, or just before we get to that dotted line, is where we're going to start braking hard, shifting down to first gear, and we should be at 60 by the line. Make sure to enable that pit limiter early enough, and then that is your pit entry. Thank you for watching the guide. I hope it's helped you out. Make sure to leave any comments if you've got questions, and I will be doing more of these soon, so look out for them in the future, and see you soon.